12 Days of Lunacy, Day 2. Hey everyone, Oversized to I'm Menos and Lunashi here. That's next instance, a brand new one that I saved up just to recant for this event. Yeah, a lot of these days are either on some super loot territory or some super strange territory. But in this case, it's somewhere that nobody expected. Italy of all places. Yeah, nobody expected this takeover all on the top of the year. And just like Clown the Fallen scenario, no one expected her to be inside anywhere. It's somewhere normally mundane. And no, it's not that shady ass bar back at Midgar. That's far from mundane. So the Italian Senate accidentally played 30 seconds of an inappropriate Tifa Lockhart video. And yes, now you see what I mean. Hey, the question is, which one?
I got you, fam!
Throughout the pandemic, Zoom means to become a perfect means of communication. Primarily because it means nobody gets exposed to a potentially deadly disease, but also because it means the vital functions of the state can still be carried out from the comfort of your own home. Hence, it means how many state governments do business these days. And yes, this type of meaning is important to this story. Otherwise, I will skip this part. However, it's also given rise to a new form of vandalism. Zoom bombing, as it's being called, is when a hacker manages to invade a Zoom meeting and then take over the presenter screen, often playing lewd or offensive materials as soon as they've gained control. Exactly what happened during the recent meeting between the Italian senators. So a hacker got in and basically sent his favorite lewds to this. As it turns out, they're either random just for the hell of it, or he's extremely cultured. Legitimately extremely cultured. Snow Miami Cook IT, the conference was hosted on Monday by a Nobel Prize winner Giorgio Parisi and featured several Italian senators. At some point during the Zoom call, using announcements broken in a call and start broadcasting hentai videos. The first one featured Tifa Lockhart, who has been at the forefront of fan-made hentai videos for decades. And no amount of censorship from Square Enix's ethics department is gonna change that. Especially not in this case. Seriously, the first time around was so foul that me and my podcast buddies back then were going senile. And then there's the second time around. This is the most heinous crime I've ever seen in my life. After the video got shots of alarm, including at least one Oh Cristo moment from Santa Maria Laura Mantovani. The conference's tech team attempted to regain control, only have another hentai video playing featured Genshin Impact Xiangling. Also then kicked from the conference call. Turns out Tifa didn't take it over the Italian Senate alone after all. She had Xiangling's help of all things. And considering how she was taming the hill troll after all of this, she ain't been playing useful. Already, Italy's feeling safe and satisfied under her.
Get some help.
Mantovani vowed to report the incident to the police, but it can be very difficult to prosecute these cases as often a vandal does not live in the same country. And a worst case scenario is the culture of things being banned due to this. Thankfully, it did not happen. Something else did instead. But that's a bit later. And no, I'm not sharing this with one of you guys. You guys are on your own there. I'm giving Susan enough of an aneurysm. But I'll share the artist's name here. Just give them some love for those that are into that sort of thing. They agree on both of those works at hand. Of course, make playing more ever since. Now, from the different sources I got from the scanner room, they did not only nobody expected this to blow up, nobody expected Italy to end up owning this incident. As Tifa ended up becoming a wholesome Italian icon due to this. The real in Italian sense given Tifa newly is on. Yeah, poor Xiangling got overshadowed here. But thankfully all's well that ended well. Because we live in a society, the biggest gaming news in a month alongside Microsoft's unparalleled acquisition of ActiBliz. Yes, things got worse there somehow, but enough of that. Tifa Lockhart being impaled during an Italian I'll go following footsteps of Julius Caesar. I can't help but applaud her for being so bold. She wasn't having sex with Aerith though there, which is sacrilege. Yeah, Oracle Writer, that's on you. Although that would have been legendary if Aerith was also involved. Yeah, someone else impaled her instead, but I won't elaborate any further. If you hadn't been paying attention at the time of writing this, last week I saw someone invade a Zoom being held by an Italian Senate only to share a video of Tifa doing the nasty for all to see. Yes, this was a two-member party event with Cloud. It was an incredible moment of cultural significance for both Italy and Final Fantasy. No doubt will be recording the history books, so scholars several decades from now can look back at where it all changed. Where it all began and embrace hentai as the art it truly is. Only slightly joking, but the fallout from this random prank has been so damn lovely. Honestly, hopefully that stands true. As a society, we can view any form of art that includes nudity or sexual intercourse as immediately profane. I mean, yeah, it's filthy, but for as I respect that there's a beautiful intimacy to sets that goes far beyond a one-way ticket to Bone Town. Yeah, that is true, but although the other domain's on fire right now, yeah, one-way tickets to Bone Town are most of what's going on for the other domain right now. Nothing much else. Don't get me wrong, the Italian Sentinel is subject to some absolute filth. Top tier entire of a JRPG heroine being subject to a Buster Swan like anything we'd ever seen before. And yeah, I'd also admit that was seriously huge. Cloud's definitely proud of this.
That's pretty sus.
Yet the Area, at least large portions of it, didn't view this as an infantile prank to be written off as a dirty joke and nothing more. They turned it into a meme, an aspect of Tifa's character that will now be ingrained in her history, and there's something really about that. And not even the injustices that were brought to her by current Square itself as of this recording, not even those crimes will end up shaking it. While some fan art I've seen builds upon this piece of news in an equally naughty way, most of it plays out the fun fact that Tifa of all people was turned into an Italian Senate meme. I doubt that any of these public services knew who she was. It was just a cartoon lady having sex while they were trying to talk about legislation or whatever Senate does. Honestly, not that sure. Yeah, for those who have seen it, they took a good 30 seconds before recollecting what was going on. Yeah, it took a while for them to drink it in. Some creatures are just so wonderful, whether it's cutesy dual Tifa dying a mustache like Super Mario. How about the place in cheaper 5 frame, because it happens to fit the Italian motif for a done illustration of the avalanche crown on a laptop. As Tifa covers herself in a blush, presumably they're all watching the infamous clip in question. Yeah, there are a bunch of fans like those. Ed Sheeran grin, that particular piece gets me every time because he just knows she wouldn't let Tifa live it down. Don't worry, absolutely no one else did either. It's testament to the Final Fantasy community, which I can assume is very horny indeed. But it's still able to see the undeniable humor in a situation like this and turn it into something worth celebrating. Final Fantasy VII Remake saw his characters return to modern zeitgeist in a way none of us could have predicted. Personally, no one saw that butchering coming either. Seriously, multiple separate parts of one game in an era where singular games can handle so much space now, and seeing them embraced continually throughout fanart, memes, theories, and other material means that as a fan of writer is considering delight by it all, even if it plays on the weird news of team being railed in a parliamentary meeting. Seriously, it's like someone accidentally popping up a gif of Lady Trubisky's face in the middle of the Prime Minister's questions. Yeah, I'm shocked that hasn't happened already. Last I've heard, Trubisky's either aiming for France or America. Whichever she prefers. Hopefully she'll abide in the shape regardless, but that's an aside. Yeah, the internet is a terrible place much of the time, but seeing a collective reaction to a silly piece of news like this with an explosion of pitiful art and memes gives me hope. And showcase how Wholesome Final Fantasy is becoming how much these iconic characters mean to people. Tifa is now being celebrated as an Italian icon. A girl should run for president where this accidental explosion of her intimate side and where this accidental explosion of her intimate side on her sleeve is she and the rest of the avalanche play it for laughs. Yeah, everyone has sets, yeah, except for the death cult that somehow got me into this asylum. They seriously hate that. Everyone's a little nice, sometimes in more ways than the one. And it doesn't always have to be viewed as needlessly promiscuous. It can be just a bit of fun, especially when its genesis isn't certain nonsensical as Tifa taking in the superficial Zoom call. And yeah, as well, that seriously ended well here. Yeah, no one expected Ricardo Milos taking over Brazil in the same type of fashion. And that was later in the year. But yeah, there ended up being a lot of competition there. And yeah, I'll shoot off before I edge you guys any further. And before I end up receiving any further fights the whole Bastion again. Seriously, I'm shocked that one fight did not end up causing my sanity to deteriorate. But yeah, it's time to take my teleport stones and go. Don't want them swimming away too recklessly. Yeah, until next time, be seeing you. And Oppai is plot. Even if it plays on the weird news of Tifa being real in the in a player alignment. Even if it means on the weird news of Tifa being real in a oh, come on. Ah, come on, my tongue's being railed here. But alas, it's time to take my teleporting stone and go. Sorry. Gold, teleport stone and gold.